Hey everybody, this video is in response to Jacob Robbins, the debate on whether or not the U.S. should or should not have withdrawn from Afghanistan. I'm taking the position that the U.S. should have withdrawn. If we look at historical battles and historical conflicts, we could have learned quite a bit from the French at Dien Bien Phu in Vietnam, as ever since the Vietnam conflict, it's been pretty historically apparent that the Vietnamization, or the fear that, the U.S. will be embroiled in another Vietnam, has dictated most other conflicts. Furthermore, we could have learned from Russia, who got themselves entangled in Afghanistan and were essentially entrenched in an unwinnable war. Now, the war in Afghanistan, not to say that there wasn't an intended purpose or there wasn't some political gain to be had for the United States, but it seems pretty clear that there was no ultimate goal, nothing to be gained. In essence, the U.S. lost lives, manpower, equipment, money over almost 20 years of being bogged down in Afghanistan, to walk away, turn it over to people that had control of it initially, and to have millions of dollars in equipment and weapons and vehicles and all other kinds of technology fall into the hands of the people that we spent almost 20 years fighting. Now, the other issue is, the fact that there was no real exit strategy. There was no clear plan. We went into Afghanistan, looking for terrorists and things of that nature, which I completely understand. I served in the Middle East in 2004 after enlisting shortly after 9/11. So I do understand the aspect of militarily. However, it was a conflict that we really shouldn't have been embroiled in. We tried to change a system and a way of life for people who have lived their life by religious beliefs, and that is what drives their society. That is what drives their way of life, their being. And the U.S. comes in and we decide we're going to go ahead and conquer them and take them over, and we're going to set up a democratic state, much like we have done in other areas of the world, and the outcome is usually not favorable. We've tried the same thing in South America and other areas, but the outcome has mostly been the same, where the region's completely unstable. Afghanistan was a page in history we should have reread, looking at it from the standpoint of the Russians who failed miserably and were forced to withdraw. We should have learned from Vietnam, and we shouldn't have stayed there any longer than we absolutely needed to, certainly not 20 years.